My coworker has been stalking me for 2 years. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and for 2 years I thought I was just being paranoid. It started when a new guy joined our department. Let's call him Daniel. He was quiet, polite, always a little awkward. At first, he barely spoke to me. Then he began showing up everywhere. If I went to the break room, he was already there. If I left early, he somehow left at the exact same time. If I stayed late, he stayed late too. I told myself it was coincidence. One day he casually said, "You usually leave at 5:42, right?" That sentence made my stomach drop. I had never told him my schedule. After that, things escalated slowly. Too slowly for HR to take seriously. He knew what bus I took. He knew which gym I went to. He once asked me why I changed my shampoo brand. I never told anyone I changed shampoo. The breaking point came when my mother called me crying. A man had shown up at her house asking if I was okay because I hadn't answered my messages lately. I never gave him her address. When I confronted him at work, he smiled and said, "I just like to make sure you're safe." HR finally investigated. They found screenshots on his work computer. My social media. Photos of my apartment building. Notes about my routine. Maps with pins marking my movements. 2 years of documentation. He was fired and escorted out. 3 weeks later, I found a note on my car. "Work won't keep us apart." I moved cities the next month and deleted every account I had. I still check my mirrors every day. Story 2. I found a tracking device under my car. I'm 31 and recently divorced. My ex didn't take it well, but I thought once I moved, it was over. Then strange things started happening. He would text me exactly when I arrived somewhere. Enjoying the coffee? Gym again today? Late night grocery run? I never shared my location. At first, I assumed he guessed. Until one night, my phone buzzed while I was sitting alone in my apartment. Message from him. "Why are you still in your car?" I was terrified. I went outside and checked underneath. There was a small black device magnetically attached near the back tire. A GPS tracker. Police removed it and confirmed it had been active for months. When they questioned my ex, he calmly admitted it. He said, "I just wanted to make sure you were safe." The judge issued a restraining order. 2 weeks later, another tracker appeared. This time inside the wheel well. He denied placing it. Police said there was no proof. I sold my car, changed my number, moved again. Sometimes when my phone location lags for a second, my heart still stops. Story 3. Someone was living in my attic. I lived alone in a small house I rented near my job. For months, food kept disappearing, milk gone, bread half eaten, lights turned off that I remembered leaving on. I blamed stress. Then one night, I heard footsteps above my ceiling. Slow, careful, barely audible. I froze. The next morning, I checked the attic. Nothing. Weeks later, I woke up to my bedroom door slightly open. I always lock it. Still no proof. Until one evening, I came home early. The attic ladder was down, and I heard breathing. Police arrived and pulled out a man hiding behind insulation. He had been living there for 6 weeks. He knew my schedule. He watched me sleep. He showered while I was at work. When questioned, he said, "I wasn't hurting her. I just wanted to be close." I moved out the same night. To this day, I cannot sleep without locking every door and checking the ceiling. Story 4. My best friend was secretly stalking me. We had been friends since college. She knew everything about me. My fears, my relationships, my routines. When I started dating someone new, she became strange, always asking where I was, who I was with, why I didn't reply immediately. Then my boyfriend told me something disturbing. She had followed us on 2 different dates. I confronted her. She cried and said she was just protective. Then I discovered the truth. She had installed a tracking app on my phone months earlier. She had access to my emails, my calendar, my photos. She kept a private journal describing my daily life in detail. When I told her I was cutting contact, she threatened to hurt herself if I left. I blocked her everywhere. She showed up at my job, at my parents' house, at my new apartment. Police finally intervened. The hardest part, losing someone I trusted more than anyone. Story 5. Someone kept sending me photos of myself sleeping. The first photo arrived anonymously. It showed me asleep in my bed, taken from inside my room. I thought it was a prank. Then another photo arrived the next night. Different angle, same bed, same me. Police searched my apartment. Nothing. I installed cameras. For 3 nights, nothing happened. On the 4th night, motion alert. At 2:13 a.m., a masked man entered through my window, stood beside my bed, took a photo, and left. He was arrested later that week. They found hundreds of photos of other women. He told police, "I never touched them. I just liked watching. I moved out, burned the mattress, and I still cannot sleep without the lights on." Story 6. My ex was watching me through my new neighbor. When I finally left my abusive relationship, I thought I was free. I moved to a different city, changed my number, deleted my social media. 3 months later, I became friends with my new neighbor. He was kind, quiet, a little lonely. One evening he casually said, "Your ex seems worried about you." My blood went cold. I asked what he meant. He told me my ex had been messaging him for weeks, asking when I left the apartment, who visited me, whether I seemed happy. He had pretended to be my cousin. I confronted my neighbor with the messages. There were screenshots. My ex knew. My work hours. My new friends. What groceries I bought. He had rebuilt my life through another person. Police issued a restraining order, but I still moved again. Because even now, I don't know who else he might be watching through. Story 7. My boss installed software on my computer. I worked in a small office with only 6 employees. My boss was controlling, but I thought it was normal. Then he started referencing things I never told him. Private emails, messages to my sister, notes I typed late at night. I assumed someone had leaked something. Until IT did a routine scan, they found spyware, installed remotely, logging, keystrokes, screenshots, webcam access, on my work computer, and on my personal laptop. The IP address traced directly to my boss's home. When confronted, he said, "I just wanted to make sure you weren't lying to me." Police arrested him. Later, I learned he had recordings of me crying alone in my apartment. For months. Story 8. The man who followed me on every commute. I took the same train every morning, same car, same seat. One day, I noticed the same man sitting across from me. Next day again, then again. Always silent, always watching. After 2 weeks, he started standing closer. One morning he whispered, "You look better in blue. I had worn blue only once." I changed trains. He changed trains too, changed times. He adjusted. One evening I got off at a random station. He followed. I ran into a cafe and hid. When police found him, they searched his bag. Inside was a notebook, pages of dates, times, descriptions of my clothes. He had been tracking my commute for 4 months. He said, "I was just building courage to talk to you." Story 9. My stalker was my therapist's assistant. I started therapy after a bad breakup. The clinic was professional, calm, safe. The receptionist was friendly, too friendly. He remembered things I never told him, what I discussed in sessions. My childhood trauma, my fears. I thought he was guessing. Until he mentioned my father's name. I never said it out loud. Later, I found out he had been listening through the door. Recording sessions, copying files, using my vulnerabilities to manipulate conversations with me. When I reported it, police found dozens of recordings from other patients. He told them, "Knowing people deeply makes them easier to love." Story 10. He waited outside my apartment for 214 nights. I didn't notice him at first. Just a shadow near the entrance sometimes. Then one night I recognized the same man. Standing under the streetlight, not moving. Every night after that, he was there. Rain, snow, holidays, always the same spot. Never approached. Never spoke. Police finally questioned him. He had kept a calendar, 214 nights marked. He said, "I just like knowing she's home safe." They couldn't arrest him. He wasn't breaking any law. I moved out 2 weeks later. If you want more true stories like these, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support.